Like every day I ask my little girl, did you hear the blast today at school? And every day I get the same answer, yes, mommy, we had a lot of blasts today. This is war. Let's not be mistaken.
As tensions on Israel's northern border with Lebanon continue to escalate, Iran has threatened an obliterating war if Israel launches a full-scale attack in Lebanon. Despite the fact that the broad IDF campaign will likely set off a regional war with Iran and its proxies, in reality, Hezbollah and Lebanon are starting to realize that a full-scale war against Israel would be devastating to the country, while the IDF regrets not acting against the threat sooner. I'm Yair Pinto, and this is My State, a program about current events, my belief in God, and my journey in the Holy Land. While daily strikes are still pounding the Israeli-Lebanese border area, global mediators are pressing to keep the situation from escalating to a wider Middle East war that the world has feared for months. Israel's message to Hezbollah is you're not as capable as you think you are. Israel's response to Iran's threat of annihilation, we'll get back to that later. I'm traveling up north to the Alma Research Center to meet with the founder and president, Lieutenant Colonel in Reserve, Sarit Zehavi, to hear an in-depth analysis of the current situation. Sarit served for 15 years in the Israeli Defense Forces, specializing in military intelligence, as well as holding an MA in Middle East Studies from Ben-Gurion University. Sarit and her research team all live in Israel's northern border communities, enhancing their expertise with a solid first-person perspective of the challenges and possibilities facing Israel and the IDF in the intensifying conflict coming from the north and Hezbollah. Shalom, Sarit, and thank you for having us here. We see an escalation between the IDF and Hezbollah. Can you maybe elaborate on what is happening on the ground?
You can see this very good in our data over here. This graph is trying to measure the amount of attacks that came from Lebanon against Israel since this war started. The majority of the attacks came from Hezbollah. Hezbollah claimed responsibility for the majority of the attacks, and about half of them put civilians' infrastructures at risk. Each of these munitions, UAVs, rockets, and anti-tank missiles, have different advantages. Okay, UAVs are very accurate. They can carry up to 40 kilograms of explosives. They can be launched up to a little bit more than 100 kilometers range. They have high level of success in bypassing the aerial defense systems of IDF if you compare them to the rockets. It also disturbs the daily lives, because once a UAV penetrates into Israel, you don't know exactly where it is going. We have alerts in many communities.
I see. So it affects like a bigger area.
Yes, it affects tens of thousands of Israelis, in opposed to anti-tank missiles that are launched from day one. Not only against tanks, they have nothing to do with tanks.
Yeah.
We don't have alerts, and Iron Dome cannot intercept them, but they are very accurate. In this video, you can see an anti-tank missile that was launched to the kitchen window and blew up the family that was eating lunch over there, and they were both killed. Rockets can be intercepted by Iron Dome, but they are launching barrages.
Like multiple rockets at the same time.
Multiple rockets at the same time. I once heard the hits, and it's pretty scary. It is more challenging to intercept them. We see a lot of damage in Kiryat Shmona, for example, which is the biggest town in the region.
Yeah.
There are areas where the authorities cannot even go and measure the damages because it's too dangerous. 43 ghost towns in northern Israel that are evacuated since the beginning of the war. This is 60,000 Israelis that cannot go back to their homes because it's too dangerous. And also the northern region, which is not evacuated,
is also in the danger zone.
Is also in danger, is also affected. I think that the game that Hezbollah is playing is trying to drag Israel into war, put Israel in an unbearable situation, that eventually Israel will be the one to initiate the major operation in Lebanon.
With Hamas stalling any ceasefire deal in Gaza, American and European officials are warning Hezbollah that they should not count on the United States or anyone else to hold off Israel if they decide to execute battle plans. And despite Hezbollah being way stronger than Hamas, it should not count on its fighters' ability to handle whatever would come next. Let's compare Hezbollah and Hamas. Which one is like stronger? Maybe you can give us a comparison of these two terrorist organizations so that our viewers will know like...
Look, Hezbollah is the senior proxy militia of Iran in the region. It is training the other militias. 50,000 combatants of Hezbollah versus, I don't know how many, 25, 30,000 of Hamas, not including the reservists.
Active members.
There should be a few tens of thousands more which are reservists. That's the arsenal, which is hardly being used, okay? Mm-hmm. So that's 10 times more missiles and rockets and mortars and accurate missiles and drones, definitely, than what Hamas is having, including Burkan missiles, which are already being used, which are heavy rockets that create a lot of damage to short range, but a lot of damage.
Yeah.
The ground forces of Hezbollah, the commando forces of Hezbollah, which are Radwan brigades, are also well experienced because they already fought in Syria.
In the civil war.
In the civil war against the rebels.
Yeah.
And they know how to take over a town, to maneuver forces in the battlefield, a brigade.
They have the ability to do more strategic
and
maneuvers.
They look much more equipped.
Is this force still capable to complete its mission and infiltrate Israel, or was it harmed during these exchanges of fires?
Look, it is really difficult to assess what's the range of the damage, because we don't have enough information about that. We can only evaluate that since the IDF is deployed here with 2 divisions rather than 1 as it was before the war, it is much more prepared to meet a massive invasion of Radwan. So is a scenario of infiltration of 100 Radwan brigades from one area or another to escalate a little bit more is probable. We believe it's probable, and this is one of the reasons why it is really a problem to bring the people back. Because we don't have an answer, a defensive answer.
To defend them.
We cannot defend them from the anti-tank missiles, and we cannot promise them that there won't be an infiltration.
I saw here a picture of the Temple Mount or Haram al-Sharif, the Golden Dome. Yes, this one.
This is in Beirut.
Yeah, what is it connected? Why does Hezbollah care about Jerusalem?
Every Hezbollah military operative that was killed in this war, the branding under his name when they publish that he was killed, was killed on his way to Jerusalem. Each year since 1979, since the Islamic Revolution of Iran, in the last Friday of Ramadan, the Iranian Jerusalem Day that is mentioned everywhere in the Middle East.
What do they celebrate on that day?
This is an excellent means to promote the agenda of we are on our way to Jerusalem, we will liberate Jerusalem from the filthy Jews. They are saying very clearly, we are coming to the Galilee and we are coming to the Golan. And the Yemenis are coming, and the Iraqis are coming, and the Syrians are coming, and the Lebanese are coming.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about, and they are coming to Jerusalem, as you can see.
Really?
This is what this campaign is all about. It's about destroying the state of Israel. The idea is to spread the Islamic Revolution values everywhere in the Middle East, and this idea comes from Iran. The Hezbollah mission is to establish an Islamic state in Lebanon. That's the mission. And fighting Israel, it is very good mean to mobilize, to spread the hate. And it's also creating a holy site that can be a very good reason and contradict the holy sites of the Saudis. So it's kind of a win-win for so many reasons together.
In case there is a full-scale war between the IDF and Hezbollah, and the IDF will indeed enter Lebanon and start this ground invasion, how will that look? And what will be the consequences for us?
It will be messy. It will be messy, and I'm sorry for not being optimistic. We don't see a scenario that has no price. We cannot continue the way it is now. If we initiate a full-scale war, it means thousands of rockets that will be launched to Israel every day. This is overwhelming Iron Dome. And it could be swarms of drones that will be launched to Israel every day. This is also overwhelming our aerial defense systems. And if it will include boots on the ground, which I'm not sure, but if it will include boots on the ground, the battles will be more difficult than in Gaza, because the terrain is different. The terrain, it's hills and valleys, it's not easy to maneuver there. Hezbollah also have underground infrastructures. You know, somebody asked me last week, when is Israel finally going to initiate this campaign against Hezbollah and stop the fire in the north? And I said, everything is going to burn anyway.
As Sarit sadly explained, a war with Hezbollah would definitely be painful and messy for Israel. But with no seeming choice, Israel is prepared and ready for war. And regarding Israel's response to Iran's threat of a war of annihilation, it was simple and clear. Chairman of the Israel Aerospace Industry Workers' Council, Yair Pinto, stated, "We have a weapon that changes the equation. The Americans, the British, and the Germans assist us with intelligence, and their help is crucial. If there is an existential threat, we have the doomsday's weapon." And I have one crucial element to add to all of that. God. We have a good God who stands by us and will help us fight this global war against evil. Please pray for the safety of our citizens and the soldiers that are fighting on all these fronts, for the return of our hostages, and for the people around the world to understand the truth so that the forces of good will prevail over the horrific evil sweeping through the world right now.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel. Thank you.